Hey, hello everybody.
Hello, hello.
Shalom. Hello Eliezer.
Hello, Yair. Hello, Sam.
Here with us. You're here with us. It's a miracle. every week I'm praying that you could join us. We know that you are really busy. You are doing a lot of things with the music and with the Jewish communities all over the world and in Israel and Tzfat and all the things that you do. So thank you so much for joining us. It's
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's a big honor, and I love you so much. And it's so beautiful to get also the feedbacks, to know that this study, we're doing together with friends, friends that are with us in this study, and it's amazing. It connects every week to the time. It's so critical. We are in times now that every person could have an opportunity now of getting a new kind of consciousness, because the world is changing. And one of the most critical things is to understand the changes of the general times. It's also to connect to the times itself. Every day has its uniqueness, and if we have this connection to the time, like we have every week, to the portion, it's a very critical exercise of also to connect to the general time that the whole world is in now, of this pandemic, and to understand that this pandemic is a present that God is giving us. With all of the difficulty, it's a present, because I think that one of the things we're getting now is we're losing faith in leadership. And it doesn't mean that there doesn't need to be leadership in the world. It means that the leadership that we're used to is not right. And God is telling us in a lot of ways, hey, I'm the leader. God is the leader. And what we see today is a very big confusion of and I don't want to say opinion, because I don't want to be in the sides at all. Okay. And this is what's ridiculous, that the whole world got into a whole a situation, and for 2 years already, and we see that there is no leadership. And this is a huge present, because the second we lose faith in what's wrong, it leaves us place to have faith in what's right. And B'ezrat Hashem, and with God's willing, that we could all have the present in our private way and find a new kind of leadership in ourselves, everyone, first of all, and through that also a new kind of leadership that would be expressed through every person in the world, and stop being dependent on politics, because politics is management. Politics is not vision for a couple of generations already. Politics is management. People's vision don't want to get so dirty. Sorry.
You're right. Thank you so much for this. This is so true, and we need to remind this to ourselves every time that we're starting to study that the Bible, as you said, that our Torah is something that it's not something that from the history. It's something that we take the stories and the secrets and the things from the Torah, and we bring it every week to what's happening in the world. And this is the most important thing to do. And this is why we are teaching, as you said, we are teaching Torah every week, every day. We're doing it because we believe that it's not something like, how do I say it? Like to אני שכחתי אפילו איך אומרים את זה בעברית. I forgot to say it in Hebrew too. No, I wanted to say that it's not something that you are like, when you miss something and you want to remind yourself that you had something,
Nostalgic. No, it's not nostalgic. Yeah. It's memory. It's memory. The difference between nostalgics and memory, yes, is that nostalgics, a person when in the present, he takes himself out of the present to other situation that was, or sometimes we'll make it up, but that's nostalgics. We always want to feel what was once. It's like a person sits in a restaurant and all what he speaks about is the other restaurants you were in. Oh, you remember what we ate once? You're eating now. Tell me, what is the taste now? What do you feel now in your tongue now? And that's memory. Because memory, you could remember something that happened, but that strengthens the positive feelings that you have now. Even if it makes the moment negative, okay? So it's comparing to something else and it's losing the moment. That's the difference between nostalgics and memory.
All right, so today we're going to speak about portion Truma. and I can feel that there is a connection between what we're going to speak right now on the portion and what we spoke and what we just spoke, because in this portion, it's a very technical portion when you read it about how to build the house to God. If you only read the orders of what we need to do, as you said, you can say, "Wow, it was so beautiful. It looked so amazing," but this is not what we're going to speak about. We're going to speak about different things and about what is the movement of giving and what is the movement of building the house of God.
But I need to tell you a story. Yeah.
All right.
I need to, and what you said now, okay? A story that happened to me.
One second, Eliezer, sorry. I just want to say that this story, every week we're doing this lesson, sorry, not the story, this lesson for healing. For those who need the healing, we are mentioning their names. So please write the names on the chat. We will do a small break in 5 minutes from now to mention the names. That this lesson will be for their healing. Okay.
They're studying. Yeah, they're studying. They're studying together. It has happened.
Yeah, studying.
So I just want to say something about something that you said, and I didn't think about this before, but it reminded me of a story, not nostalgic, it's a story. A moment of memory came to me when you just said it about technical. So like around 22 years ago when I was still in the army. So when I drove once in this portion, before this portion, from the army back home and on the weekend, so I sat next to a friend of mine from my unit. You hear me, Yair?
Yeah.
So I sat and I was reading this portion, Truma. Listen to this, okay? And he looked and he asked me, tell me something about the portion. Was sitting next to me in the bus. And I told him exactly what you said. Okay, listen. I said, it's very technical, this portion. There's not exclusive stories. Listen to this. In Shabbat, it was after a very, very intensive week. I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks. I didn't come to my house. I was very tired in that Shabbat. I came home. We know what it is to be in the army, the commandos. And yeah, I got in Shabbat. I collapsed in my parents' house, fell asleep. In the night, I had this dream, okay? Old man, long white beard, dressed white, came to me, started to explain to me, was in Shabbat, about every part of the Mishkan. The Mishkan is there's different names. We would cry like it's the basic of the temple. Okay, it's the heart of the temple. Yair, you want to say how there's different translations to this, but it's important in Hebrew to understand what the word means. Mishkan. Mishkan is also the same letters of Shechina. Shechina is the expression of God in this material world, because there is a light, but and it's like oxygen. But do we see it? Or don't we see it? And when we could really feel it and sense it and smell it and hear it and taste it and feel it, that means that we are in the true presence. And so Mishkan is the heart, is the expression, is a place that went with Am Yisrael, with the people of Israel in the desert. Okay, it was like a courtyard, and they were in the courtyard all of the instruments. Then with these instruments, we worshiped God. But I want to explain something. It's very important. There is something very dangerous.
You just said about the
dream.
The dream.
Yes, so I'm in the middle. So he explained to me. I woke up in the morning. I woke up like I was excited. But in the morning, I went to a rabbi in Tzfat, and I told him, "What is this?" So he told me, you got a present. And a lot of times I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so I a lot of times when I have ideas, maybe I relate them to what was in that dream. But I didn't. It was in Shabbat. I didn't write it. And also when I woke up, it was very excited. But what I do remember is that everything had a reason that's connected to the general world. And I do want to say things from my study. Yes, and I hope that they're right enough to connect to what was in the dream. Okay, but from my study, I would give example. And it is very important to relate before we relate to to the vessels themselves, like the menorah. The menorah is it has like candles. You have 7 candles that come out of the menorah that the Kohen used to light them every day. You had so the Mishkan, the tabernacle, that it was outside of the Mishkan. Yes, but inside the Mishkan, in the Holy of Holies, that's how they call it, there was the cabinet and the Korvim, and the 2 angels, like they're designed on top, and in over there inside were the tabernacles. Okay, the aluchot. They were in the cabinet in Aron HaBrit. Okay, all of these instruments. Before we touch every one of them, yes, I just want to explain one thing that's very important to understand. Why do we need this at all? Our relationship with God is straight. Why do we need instruments? What are we? It's a danger of idolatry. What we need something in the middle, and over here is something very critical to understand about what the Mishkan brings to the world. The Mishkan tells the world balance. If you think that worshiping God is only being spiritual, that's idolatry. If it's only material, that's idolatry. And true way is always to search for God through everything that God created. And that's why, yes, there is holiness in holy places, in holy books. And there is it doesn't make the book a God. It doesn't make the temple a God, but it does make a place holy. It makes the ceremony holy. That's a memory. It's critical that we have this, and remember that if we are not balanced, we can't have it. Because if we are not balanced in our personality, so we would make out of this idolatry to here or to here. And that's why God is telling us, be prepared, be ready, be in your own personality, balanced people, that you have spirituality. That what is spirituality? Is being sensitive. Is totally being sensitive to the other, being sensitive to reality. That's being spiritual. It's not being afraid to be with your heart outside. And being practical, it doesn't mean now to worship money. It means that God brought us to the earth, and we are here to bring the presence of God to the earth through blessings, through peace, not through taking advantage of the world because we're going to die any day anyway. No, this world would be forever. It's eternal. We could also be part of this eternal world if we would be holy, and we'll be holy. We would have holy memories, and then the holy memories would also be treated in a holy way that you don't want to make out of this nostalgics. You want to have a true memory that would wake you up to the present and to the future also. So that's a bit about the Mishkan.
This is very beautiful, and I want to stop you for a moment just to pray for the people that need healing, and we will back to the place that you stopped. And okay, so I see here in the chat Elizabeth asking to pray for. We're gonna make this lesson, this how do you say it?
Studying, yeah.
Study and lesson for the healing of Linda, Aileen, Sherry Duran, Yvonne Z, Christopher V, אילנה בת שרה, וכל האנשים שצריכים רפואה, and all the people that need healing for the body and for their soul. May this lesson, this study will be for their healing. אלנה רפנה להם, אלנה רפנה להם. I want to stop for a moment, Eliezer. Just how much time you still have? How much time you have?
I'm with you. Please, brother. I said we stop just in time.
Yeah. So I want to do kind of a share screen to show them what we talk about the Mishkan. What we have. I have a couple of pictures here. Actually, I must say that right now in the portion, Moses go up to the Mount of Sinai, and God telling him suddenly give him the introductions, yeah, introductions to how to build the house of God.
Orders, yes.
Yeah. So
The
orders.
instructions. Yeah, the instructions.
So I want to show you how it looks, and I must say that some of the things that you're gonna see, they was later on they stayed in the temple too. And
so this is in the Holy of the Holies. Okay,
yes,
this is in the middle.
Beginning, yeah. This is the Holy of the Holy. This is the Korvim. It's called Korvim. It's as Eliezer said, it's two angels.
In English. How do you call them in English? I'm
know.
So sorry. Yeah, my parents are American. I was born in Israel. I'm so sorry.
What?
Okay.
What you said?
No, I'm sorry for not knowing how to call them in English.
Let's say that the most important thing is to know it's called Korvim, and then we will find the translation. I can find it later. Okay, so they're connecting to a table. This is the menorah. 1 second. You can see. This is how it looks. All the area in the desert. So the holiest of holy. You can see my where I point in the.
I could see yes, man. Yeah.
So the room that you see here, this is the Holy of Holies. So the Korvim and the table was here, and all the other things that you're gonna see was there, and the Kohanim was entering from here to here, from tell me if I right, from the east to the west, yeah. From the east to the west. That's what I know. So right. Do I right?
Yes.
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 The Holy of Holies was in the east, in the west. So this is the table of the bread. There was a table for bread. These pools, I'm going to speak about these pools soon. Something.
Lechem hapanim. It's the inner lechem hapanim, the face bread. The inner, the face bread.
By the way, the reason why it's called lechem panim, it's not because of that. That's what I saw in the explanation of Rashi. It's not because of the word face. It's because that they have panim, like two sides. Because there was they built like what's letter we have N, like N, and they have like two walls in the sides. So that's why Rashi said it's called lechem panim, like two walls. This is the menorah that you all know.
Okay, I want to say something about the menorah.
Okay,
I'll say fast something about the menorah just to understand the philosophy. Okay, and then I would need to go. Okay, so
right.
So I would just say something about the menorah, and that would also connect to our month now. Okay, we just now started the month of Adar. This is the month of happiness, and it's very important to say something about happiness, and I would relate it also to what the menorah did in the world, because happiness is not a result. Happiness is our approach, and when we have the approach of happiness, it's like love. So, and through that, we could do things in the right way. Okay, so this is, and you could also put the menorah. It's great if you put the menorah.
Okay, go ahead.
You could put sometimes in the middle, because now I'm going to speak about the menorah. So I want to share with the philosophy about the menorah. If you could put it 1 second, and then put me back. Okay, Joe, or I'll start with me. Okay, sorry. We have in our face, okay, also the seven points of light in our face, right? We have if we look in the side, it's 2 of our ears, right? In the middle, it's 2 of our eyes, then 2 of our eyes, then our nose. We have another 2. We have our breathing channels of the nose. Let's be a bit creative. And then we have the mouth, right? So if we know that what the Kohen did, okay, when he lit the menorah, okay, we just now spoke about face, right? He lit the light of the face of the world. And this reminds us that every one of us could light also the menorah inside of us. If we light these channels that are in our face, to light our eyes is not to look at the bad. Okay, if we see something negative, for sure that we need to fix. So to fix it, not to stare at it, not to peek, and not to be peekers. And it's very important. That allows us to be also true, positive visionaries, because we don't accept the negative and we don't enjoy from looking at the negative. This is the eyes. Our mouth is not to say lie. Okay, that's the center. Not to say lies. Even sometimes, if I said a detail that maybe it's not exactly true, so say another sentence. It's for yourself. It's not for the person. It's not for the information. Because we want to trust our memory. Because sometimes if we say things that are not exactly, so then we always need to feel a need to always cover and what we're not sure about ourselves. And that's why it's very important not to say lies. So and if we see our nose, so it's the smelling. To smell, it's very critical to know how to breathe deep, to breathe inside deep, and it means to also look at the deepness and to demand the deepness of the world. Our soul enjoys only from this sense, from the sense of smelling. That's what the holy books say, that this is the only sense that the soul enjoys from, is smelling. It connects to the breathe. In Hebrew, the word neshama is soul. It's also the same letters of neshima, of breathing. Okay, so this is our connection with God. Relates very much. And יש לך את הנתונים, יאיר?
Yeah. Just it's Now we're back.
Yeah. So our connection with God, okay, it's very much okay to be aware, and we need to also know, when things smell good and when they don't, and our ears is the place of knowing how to be a true student. To be a true student is to listen to a person with an open heart. When we listen to a person with an open heart, we could also trust ourselves when we lose focus, and we could ask to hear again, but we could comment to what's really said, and then we could be true students because we learn to know, to be aware, to have a true consciousness. And it's not only to have more information, it's to be part of where we are. And so that's the place also of Aaron in Hebrew. Ozen is ear. It's also the letters of izun, is balance. Okay, so this is an example of a philosophy that over here, yes, there is the menorah, there is the vessel, but this vessel over here, it's a vessel that has also a philosophy that reminds the world, a philosophy that everyone could exercise in his private life, but it also it's a light for itself, because the second this light is lit, it brings a memory, a true active memory to the whole world of where the glory is. Because if we don't light our center, so it's like taking a light bulb from the center of the room and putting it in the corner of the room, and then the whole room is dark, and the only things that are in the fashion are the bugs. That's why we need the light in the center, and this is lighting the menorah. For one example, you bring the fire from the center. It's a true active memory, and it's active memory in such a way that we want to be part of the light, the true fashion of the true happiness, the true movement, because it's not a movement that comes from outside. It's like happiness. It comes from inside. If I'm a happy person, it means that I'm a person that puts myself aside. Okay, because being depressed, it's being heavy, and everyone could be in a sad day, but I'm not myself. I'm only a vessel over here for light, God. I don't want to bother, and over there I do the right work, not to bother, to be a true channel that the light would come through me. And for that, this is the work, that we have this light also on our face, again, in our ears, in our eyes, in our nose, in our mouth, not to say lies. To breathe deeply, to be aware, not to look at the negative or to fix the negative when we see it, not to be peekers, and to be true students, to listen, to be balanced. So this is the menorah inside of our face, ourselves.
Two signs inside the house. There was two signs to know that God is still with us, like, you know, is with us all the time, but that is the Shekhinah is inside the house. It was the fire of the menorah, and the second is about the Korvim, those two angels that we saw. Let's see it again. Those two angels that we saw that look into each other. If they was looking to each other, we know that the Shekhinah is inside the house. I want to say another two things, if you have a time, small things, ideas like philosophy, as you said.
Please, share with me fast because I'm late. I have people waiting for me here, brother.
So first thing is that look, it's very interesting that inside the temple, the more you get inside to the temple, to the Mishkan, to the house of God, to the holiest of holy, you see that it's all the vessel is like a one it's built only from gold. It's only a one shape. So like the menorah, it's built only from gold. The Korvim, it's only from gold. But the more you go outside from the holy, you see that it's built from trees that the gold is only around them. Like you can see here in the table with the pools, you can see that the pools is a gold that inside the pools it's from tree. So I was just thinking about it, that it's very interesting. And then of course the tent and everything is from different kind of things. So it's very interesting to see that inside the holiest of holy, it's all built from one in one shape, like the menorah, only from gold. And the more you go out, it's there is different different shapes and different תעזור לי, אליעזר. different אני אפילו בעברית לא זוכר איך אומרים את זה.
נו.
לא כלים, חומרים. Materials, okay. And the second thing that I want to say, that it's very interesting that there is a very interesting explanation that the menorah is not the holiest thing that we have. I just read kind of explanation. It's not the holiest thing, and the Korvim is like the opposite of what I said right now, because it's built only from a one shape. It have no inside and outside. If you see this pulse, you say, okay, it's have inside and outside, like ourselves. We have our body and we have our neshama, we have our soul. But the more you go inside, you see that there is no inside and outside to the vessels. So why I understood that it's very it's a way of thinking that the more we are going deeper with our study, with our belief, with our with the things that we wanna with the belief in, with our belief in God, is the more that we need to take our things to the simple things in our life, to take our beliefs to the simple things in our life. Like the menorah, it's something that each one of us can build.
I'm so sorry, brother. Here, let me tell you Shabbat Shalom. Okay, brother? Love you, brother. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, friends. Shabbat Shalom. Love you so much, brother. Shabbat Shalom.
Bye, love you.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Love you, brother. Bye.
Bye. So the more we are getting the more we are getting deeper with our belief, is the more we need to take things from our belief to the simple things in our life. Like what I wanted to say is that we can take, each one of us can build a menorah. Actually, there's people right now that build a menorah to the temple. They're waiting the Messiah to come and to take the menorah and to put it in the temple. So it's possible to build a menorah. So why to take these vessels, as Eliezer said, and to make it holy? What is this? Why we need to do it? So the reason is that the more we are, as a believer, believe in what we are doing, is the more we need to be really sharp in our simple life. And the more we're getting deeper to the inside the temple, inside the house of God, is the more the vessels is only from one building in one shape, in one only from gold, not with trees, not with anything else, only with gold. And it's kind of a lesson for me, I think, to understand that the more you are going in your life as a believer, the more you're going deeper, is the more that you need to take your simple things in your life and to put God inside of it. Like I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel, like what I'm trying to do with my music, like whatever I'm trying to do in those days. And I'm sure that you are feeling like this too, because I know the messages that you sending me. So for me, it was like a kind of a message that I really love. One simple fact from the portion. There is a story in the Jewish explanation of the Torah in this portion that said that they're talking about what is a prayer. So it's written that when Moses tried to build the menorah, when Moses built the menorah, he couldn't make it because he needed to build it, as I said, only from gold. He couldn't connect between things. He needed to do it in one time. So he didn't succeed. So what he did, he just prayed really hard and dropped it to the fire, and then God just made the menorah. So it's a great lesson for us. You know, sometimes in our life we're telling to ourselves, look, this is me. I can't do this and this and this. This is me. I will never sing here and here and here. I will never know all the Torah. I will never succeed in this test. I will never. But what we can learn from Moses, that he wasn't a menorah builder. He didn't know how to do it. So we just prayed to God, and God gave him the skills to do it. And this is amazing, amazing, amazing lesson for all of us. We need to remember that, yeah, there is the skills and the things that we feel that we have, the things that we feel that we are not so good in. But we need to remember that anything that we want, and the word want, ratzon in Hebrew, ratzon, is the most important thing. This is the beginning of the present that we get, is what we want. In Hebrew we say ratzon movil is bring us shefa. Ratzon, shefa. Ratzon is what we want. Shefa is the present. And it's begin with the ratzon, with what we want. If I want to build a menorah as Moses, and he prayed for it, he got it. And if you really want to do change to change something in your life, you want to be better for your wife, for your husband, for your girlfriend, you want something, you want to wake up every morning very early and to go to pray, and you feel that you don't succeed, it's very hard for you. You need to work on what you want and not on the present, and to say, why I didn't get this, I can't wake up in the morning, it's very hard for me to be in time on work. No, you don't need to work on the present, because the present is from God. You need to work on what you want and to ask yourself why you really don't want it. And from this story of Moses, he couldn't build by himself the menorah. We learn, it's so beautiful to understand that we can get whatever we need and whatever we want, but we need to ask for it, really to ask for it, and to really want it, and with all your body and with all your soul, to believe that this is good for me and I can do it. And there is nothing in this world that it's impossible. Nothing, I'm telling you, there is nothing that you can't do, that I can do. It's only about what we want to do. And there is like a amazing story about the examples, but from the Holocaust. I just heard like a very crazy story about people that needed to run from the Nazis. So they had like a small hole in the wall, and they ran from the house, from the small hole in the wall. And then when they made kind of a research later, years later, and they saw the hole in the wall, they couldn't believe that they succeed to enter through this hole. And a lot of research made by how they did it. It's a miracle. How can it be that someone that with my size, in my size, can escape from this kind of hole? It's not possible. This is the word ratzon. This is the word that I want to teach you today and to talk with you today about of what we want. This is the most important thing as believers, because these brave, holiest people that escaped from the Nazis and entered through these small holes and escaped, and it physically it was impossible. It's happened because they asked with all their body and with all their souls from God to help them to escape, to save their life. And it just happened. It's a great lesson for all of us. I think that's it for today. So we talked about the house of God, about Moses standing in the Mount of Sinai, getting the orders how to build the house of God, and starting to work on it. And next week we will speak about the rest of the introductions, and there is a very interesting story next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all the comments, all the things that you're writing here in the chat. I will see it later. Please, if you have any question, anything that you want to tell me, please write it later, not in the chat. Please write it in the comments below that we have in the video on YouTube, because I see it later. I'm coming back tomorrow or maybe even today to see your comments and to answer and to so if you have anything that you want to say, everything that you want to ask, anything that you want, I don't know, suggestions, things that you want to say, please let me know. If I wrong with something, sometimes I'm not I'm not God. So if I said something wrong, please let me know. Thank you so much for being here with us. Shabbat Shalom. And I will update soon about a very, very happy things that's happening with my music. So stay tuned in my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you want. Love you. And that's it. Shabbat Shalom. And the month today is month, it's month Hadar. And in Hadar, we need to be happy. I will speak about it next week. It's the month of Purim, the holiday Purim. So, משנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה, when Adar is coming, we need to be happy. And Shabbat Shalom. Love you. Bye bye.